Several weeks ago, I visited with Brooke Mercer, who is our director of children's ministries here at First United Methodist Church, and we talked about how the pandemic affected uh, how we do children's ministries and some of the things she did to combat that and stay connected with the kids. And of course, she's still working through a lot of that, but also some of the things that she's looking forward to in the coming months and in the coming year as it pertains to children's ministry. So I'm happy to share Brooke's insights with all of you. So I'm recording. Yeah,
Hi.
recording. um, and I'll probably use this like on the coffee with clergy thing too. And I mean, because I mean, really, we had the UMW meeting and that you presented
Mhm.
at. I kind of want to just almost go back through the things that you discussed with the UMW ladies in
I
what all
just
you're doing.
rambled. I rambled and rambled so maybe if you ask me some questions, it won't be so rambling.
Well, I thought it was great, and as you were talking about it, I like that you took them through um, the struggle of trying to figure out how to do children's ministry at a time when we really can't be doing children's ministry, and
Yeah.
that it wasn't just an automatic, hey, here's some great idea. It was a struggle trying to figure out to do this and try all of these different things and what landed with the kids and what um didn't, and maybe it had to do with the timing of being tired of Zoom and all of that stuff. So let's go back to March when you're first
Okay.
trying to figure all of this stuff, because I don't even remember what the first thing was, whether it was the Easter basket stuff that had to be modified or what. Do you remember?
That was part of it because it was spring break. All the kids went off for spring break and never got to go back to school. So I think part of that was, now that we're all at home, what is ministry going to look like? And so there was a lot of staff conversations and a lot of conversations with friends and parents and what is this going to look like. And we wanted to try to get people involved, as many people as we could. And Easter was around the corner, and I think we all kind of thought everything's going to be normal by Easter, so
Yeah.
let's just have fun until Easter. So we came up, I found the poem online, How the Virus Stole Easter, and then texted some people and said, hey, can you help? And there was an immediate response, I'd love to. And people were so fun and so creative, and it was great to see everybody come together. So doing that, we had wanted to do Easter baskets. I bought all the stuff we were going to fill in. We had these kids books and candy and pencils and fun kind of stuff that I was going to put these baskets together and deliver them to all the kids. And then we kind of decided that wasn't such a great idea with all of the germs and the sorry, things are popping up on my screen, with germs, and we, at that point, we weren't encouraging anyone to even leave their homes. So we didn't want to set a bad example by doing that. So we kind of changed gears, and I started sending out packages once a month to the kids. And Sunday school, we wanted to still have it, didn't have any idea what that could look like. So I found some videos, some great curriculum, and post those every Sunday morning. So that information went into the packets. One of the first ones had a really cool COVID kind of kit that wasn't a kit, it was more like a packet of information, the All About Me packet, so the kids could write down their names and their ages and the things that they liked, and kind of a time capsule, kind of a,
Kind of commemorated
document.
their time with
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. But again, that's when we thought it was going to be this long. So,
Right.
but it was kind of, what are the things that you remember about this time, and what are some positive things about this time, and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I sent one in, I guess, May, and, tried to put some Mother's Day stuff in there and some Father's Day stuff in June, and, kind of tried to get creative with activity books and coloring books and stickers, and 1 month Scooter I printed out a picture of him and put some popcorn on it, microwave popcorn that just said popping in to say hi and see how you are. And,
Okay,
you know,
so explain Scooter though, because if people watch this that aren't part of our church, Scooter, and maybe I'll stick a clip in of Scooter.
yeah,
So
Scooter's infamous. Scooter made his debut probably 3 or 4 years ago during Sunday school. And he was present every Sunday morning. And that was back when all of the classes would meet together first to start Sunday school. And we would have Scooter, he and I would chat about the Sunday school lesson and what we were going to learn about that day. And so then the kids would all divide up into their different Sunday school classrooms and talk about Scooter and what they had heard, and then go over the lesson and all that good stuff. And so at some point, I thought, hey, let's bring back Scooter. So he came back, and he has he has made an impact.
well, okay, so one of the things I think is really that you've done really well, because when this stuff COVID first came about and it looked like it was going to last a little bit longer than we expected, everything went online, everything was Zoom, everything was trying to reach people through new technology and everything, and I know you did some of that, but
a lot of that.
right, but you didn't just do that. You started mailing packets, and you started sending things, and I think it gave it more of a personal touch, because kids love getting stuff in the mail.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's changed, since we can't see them in person. But I think I know it's been a whole lot of work for you in sending that stuff out and staying connected. But we've had so many conversations about how do we do it, and I think you've done it really well. What have been the keys, do you think, to staying connected to our kids?
One of the biggest challenges that I have faced is, children's ministries is 0 to 5th grade. So, your one size doesn't fit all when it comes to the kids. So trying to offer things that are, relevant to all ages, to every age. And so putting those packets together, different families have different makeup, different numbers of kids, some have girls, some have boys, some have both, some have this age and this age. So not any of the 2 packets are the same for the most part. I tried to reach out, and for the most part, it's up to the parents to pass the information along as far as social media goes. I tried to have a presence on Facebook and on Instagram. And at the beginning it was a daily challenge, some sort of a picture with a Bible verse that could be a memory verse for the day with some sort of a challenge, just kind of an activity, because at that point we had nothing to do as we were quarantined at home. So
Right.
we tried to be, kind of creative with, what can we do? Because I'm going out on a limb. We're going to try to have a Zoom call in 2 weeks on September the 16th at 6:30. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun. We probably won't hear anything for the entire hour, but I think it's worth it for the kids to be able to see each other and for me to be able to see them selfishly. So, I wasn't.
What did you tell me the other day? Reaching like 60 kids or so, 60.
Yeah, we have 68 kids within the church database. And so that's, upwards of 40 families, which is great. Wednesday Kids was huge before, COVID shut everybody down. We had probably 18 or 20 kids every Wednesday night. And I had 5 or 6 very faithful adult volunteers that came every week. And so I have all of the contact information for those kiddos, and we've tried to kind of stay in touch with, phone calls and notes, and again, the packages and other things, just trying to stay connected to people. And, hopefully sent out a survey to the parents a while back. It's been a couple of months now, but just kind of trying to gauge, how I was doing as far as, what am I not doing that your kids would enjoy, and are you getting the packages, and, are you, um, you know, online where you get some of this information, or are you, over technology, or, how can we reach you better, and how can I pray for you, and just kind of trying to, get some feedback on things that I can do, because again, we're all rewriting this crazy book. So,
Well, and because I know, after a while we were talking about how, we can do some of this children's ministry stuff, but if it's just busy work, or if it's just added on stuff on top of parents who are trying to work, trying to teach their kids, trying to do all of these things, and then we're throwing one more thing at them to do we really want to be doing that? But turns out that they're worth. I mean, it is important to
right.
parents to not just teach ABCs 1, 2, 3s, to not just work and cook and all of that kind of stuff, but to also engage their kids with getting to know Jesus. So I thought that was cool. But with the surveys and stuff that you did with the parent, what did you learn? I mean, probably didn't get a whole lot of feedback, because nobody likes doing surveys, but at the same
Nobody
time,
likes doing a survey.
what you did get back,
Right.
I'm sure was helpful.
Myself included. It was interesting. People were very kind and very nice and very supportive, which I appreciate. People are over technology, so, that's kind of what geared me towards, making sure I continued with the packages, just to put something, physical in their hands. But one of my favorite things I think that we've done so far this summer was the virtual vacation Bible school. It was a sign up and I'll send you the link. All the information is, it was online through this curriculum, this company that did this great curriculum, and it was the kind of thing where the parents didn't have to buy anything and they didn't have to do anything. It was all done for them. And there was this really cool video that, had an animated Bible story. And then you could pause the video and they had some questions, for the family to discuss. They had crafts and games and music, and you just would pause the video to go do whatever it was that, was next, which was really kind of fun. I made my family do it, which was hilarious, by the way. But it was cool because the families didn't have to do it at a set time and date and whatever. They could kind of do it as they had time, and they could make it go as short or as long as they wanted. So, and I had some great feedback on that too. I still have the link if anybody wants to do it now. It's still available. So
it can be done anytime.
Anytime. Yeah.
Cool.
We kind of set it up during those few days in June, but it could be done anytime.
Awesome. Well, and so getting back to all the stuff that you're sending, and I know today, like when you left the United Methodist Women meeting, you had a bunch of stuff to take to the post office to send off, and you showed us yesterday what you were sending out, some devotional books. And I thought it was cool that you didn't just get a devotional book and send that to everybody.
Yeah.
But you had some boys, you had some girls, you had some general, and I thought that was really cool. But on our last church finance meeting, we had our finance meeting, we did it over Zoom, and we were going over everything, and somebody goes, "Oh my goodness, children's ministry, postage and supplies or whatever is way over budget. What is going on here?"
Way over budget.
Yeah, but then explain why and how you were way under budget in other places, and they just thought it was great. And so budgets are being blown up all over the place in different ways, but
we're robbing Peter to pay Paul is how I look at it.
Yeah. And
we didn't have Pine Cove, so that was $15,000 of my budget. We didn't have basic training camp, so that was $5,000 of my budget. We didn't have VBS to the scale that we typically do, so that was another almost $1,000. So, I kind of figured if I'm spending $400 a month on these packages for these kids, hopefully nobody will.
I just think it's great because you didn't sit there and go, well, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't have Pine Cove, we can't have basic training camp, we can't have Sunday school.
And don't get me wrong, I've whined plenty about not getting to do those things. I tell church council every month or every meeting, summer is my Super Bowl, and that's kind of when I'm my busiest, and it's my favorite part of the year. I love those camps and those kids and those staff, and so that was terrible, not
Well,
gonna lie.
whining about it is one thing, but you still found a way, like, you found a way to reach in the environment that we were in. You didn't just curl up into a ball and say, okay, we'll start children's ministry back up whenever COVID goes away. And for a while, I think that was the mentality that a lot of us had. We'll get back to church whenever COVID goes away. But
Well, we kept trying to plan things, and then we would have to cancel them as it would continue. And so we thought, you know what, let's stop planning the in-person stuff and try to reframe and pivot, which is, I guess, the new word. Let's figure out how we can continue to do things.
Yeah.
Which was a challenge for the entire staff. But
well, what do you see? And I know you can't predict it, but just for the benefit of our church members and really anybody else that may see this, that's kind of trying to plan ahead for their church work. What do you see coming? Like, best guess, or what do you think we need to be doing now to prepare for whatever comes next? Because things are probably going to change. Maybe they'll change for the better, and we can start having. I guess we'll see what happens with schools and all of that kind of stuff. But what are your plans and hopes and dreams and thoughts about? Are you even able to look beyond? Hey, what are we doing tomorrow?
Absolutely. I've got already next summer planned. What do you mean? No, I kind of feel like once we start, now that worship has opened back up, at least partially, once I start seeing kids in worship participating, then that'll kind of be my sign that parents are ready to get involved, at least, to some extent. Debbie Durham and Cindy Powell are ready to get going with the Cherub Choir, and we're ready to get back to Sunday school. So as soon as we get the go ahead, I feel like we're ready to go.
Yeah, well, children's ministry, I think, is one of those things that is so important in the church. We say all the time, we want to have we need to have younger people in the church. We need to have new folks and coming in. And I do think children's ministry is a big deal. And you do a great job here with the children's ministry, because if you don't have a good children's ministry at the church, it makes it difficult for parents with kids to want to stay. And I've talked to over my years of ministry, talked to parents who have said, well, we'd like to go to this church, but this church has a really good children's ministry, and we don't really, we have some differences theologically, but they have a really good children's ministry, and we're going to go over there. And so I think children's ministry is a big deal. Youth ministry is a big deal. And I think you're doing a great job with it. And that's one of the reasons I wanted us to do this and record it, is because what you're doing with children's ministry right now isn't that visible, and children's ministry is kind of a lifeblood in the church. Even if you've got an 85-year-old couple, and their grandchildren or have moved away and all that kind of stuff, still seeing what's going on with children's ministry is invigorating to the seniors in the church, to all of the families in the church. And that's one of the things that's been difficult, is unless you're a part of that children's ministry right now, it's hard to see it. It's hard to be excited about what's going on in children's ministry. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted us to have this discussion and record it, and let the folks in our church know, what is going on, and be excited about everything that you're doing, and show their appreciation. I know I appreciate it.
It was exciting being back in worship on Sunday, and we had 2 kids, which was just, I feel like they have grown 3 feet and grew long hair, and everybody just looks different because I hadn't seen them in so long. But I was over the top with, I couldn't contain it, so my wheels started turning about trying to get some children's packets back in their hands, and how
so you're doing the children's packets a little bit different.
I'm going to do that a little different. I'm going to put everything in a Ziploc bag and you can just pick it up and take it home. So you don't have to return everything. And, that way we can try to keep everybody safe. Scooter definitely has a following, So, as you wish, we'll have him back. He's got his blog now. If
Yeah,
anybody
Scooter's writing his own blog.
would like to read that, it is very entertaining. Um, but yeah, we're just, still trying to figure out how we can be new and different. And
Well, I'm excited about it, and we'll just keep rocking and rolling, and I don't know, we'll cut this at this point. Just we'll keep doing these from time to time.
okay.
Do some videos on children's ministry just to let folks know what's going on, and hopefully we'll be able to bring everybody back together before too terribly long so that they can see and engage with it. Because like you said, with the kid, I mean, it was so great to see people in worship this week, especially the kids, and it's
You don't realize how much you miss people until you see them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it, and I know I know you missed. I think we all did, and you more than I mean. I got to be part of it last year. Pine Cove and basic training camp and vacation Bible school, and those are such huge. Here I am continuing to talk.
But I could talk all day,
but I mean, go. Oh, let's talk about basic training camp and Pine Cove. First of all, what is basic training camp?
Basic training camp is our overnight camp for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And it's a Sunday to a Wednesday. So it's perfect for the family who has a younger child that hasn't spent the night away from home before, because it's only a couple nights as opposed to some of those other camps that have them for, a week or two.
This is something that you put together, but over the last couple of years, I guess at least, you've had some other churches come in and really participate in it, right?
Yeah, we've tried to go back to when basic training camp started. So if anybody knows when that is, call me. But we figure it's at least over 30 years old, and it's the only conference camp of its kind, I guess, within our district, I think. So, it's amazing. We basically take everything we need for 4 days and pack it up and take it to camp. We're at El Shaddai Retreat Center in Yorktown, and it's gorgeous. A pool and a pond where the kids can canoe and fish, and any and every activity you can think of to do outside. We have a talent show. We have a dance where the kids dress in costumes. Every year there's a different theme, and the curriculum kind of goes along with the theme. And we've got amazing volunteers, from our church, like you mentioned. And then we've got, Gonzalez is involved, and Seguin, and we've got kids that come from Sugar Land and El Campo, and kids from all over come to camp. It's so fun. We're crazy fun.
Exhausting. Is this where you said you got 24,000 steps or something?
24,000 steps in one day. And every year I think I'm too old for this. I can't go back. I can't do it again. And then every year I can't wait to go back. So,
so you got a break. You got a break this year. You ought to
I did. I'm very well rested.
You're going to get 50,000 steps next year.
No. No.
Okay. So we have basic training camp, but then also, I mean, these are major things that you run, and the other is you brought in Pine Cove in the city to our church.
Camp in the city, yeah, and this would have been year 8. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I when I talk about it, I cry. About everybody that knows me know I cry when I talk about Pine Cove, just because of the impact that it has on every.
What is it? Because I hadn't. Before I got here, I had heard of Pine Cove, but I didn't understand what Pine Cove in the city was.
Pine Cove has been around for over 50 years, and it's a Christian camp that started in Tyler, and now they have a site in Columbus and then one in South Carolina. So they do overnight camps for elementary kids and junior high kids and high school kids, and then they also do family camps. And we got in on year 2. So, 9 years ago, they started Camp in the City for, kids that were not ready for sleepaway camp. And they basically bring everything that would happen in an overnight camp to your church. And then they put everything together.
They pretty much take over First
They
United
take
Methodist
over.
Church buildings and parking
It's
lots, and it's
awesome.
filled
Yeah.
with water slides and all kinds of stuff.
Climbing walls and bungees, and it's unbelievable to me. They have fine-tuned it over the years to where it's just it's seamless, and they come in on a Sunday night, and the Methodist men are amazing. They always provide them this wonderful meal. And then they hit the ground running on Monday morning, and they get there at 7 o'clock in the morning to have their quiet time and their devotional and their kind of pump up meeting, and then they're there until at least 6 o'clock every day, tearing down and cleaning up and getting ready for the next day. And then our host homes, that selfishly, that's my favorite thing about Camp in the City, is getting to host these college kids,
because all these college kids, I mean, the staff that comes with Pine Cove in the City and Camp in the City, but we don't have dorms for them, so they end up staying with host families, right?
Yeah, they bring a team of 36 college age kids, half girls and half boys. And so we find homes that, basically host them for the week. And we provide a couple meals, a couple nights they do things with their group. And, it's just amazing. We've gotten very creative. We'll do, kickball games. One year we did the bubble soccer with them. We do, a hide and seek with dessert on Friday night before they leave. It's kind of traditional. Last year we had a photo scavenger hunt. I thought that would be fun, which was crazy, but every night they had a different challenge that they had to do as a host home family with their staff, and then, document it, text me the pictures. And then I put together a slideshow that we did the last night at our dessert party. So everybody got to see everybody's pictures, and, it's just crazy fun stuff that, that adds to the week, because camp by itself is phenomenal, but
Right.
being able to host is really cool too.
Yeah, well, and I know, it's not just kids that are members of our church that have taken advantage of this. It's a lot of kids from the community, and what I thought was cool because this was happening. I think Pine Cove in the City was happening right before I was appointed here,
And
and
you came
I
before you
came.
even here.
Yeah, I came because it was a few weeks before I was actually supposed to start here, and it was just so cool. But there are scholarships, right? That typically First United Methodist Church has offered to kids, especially kids that may not have the means to pay for a week of this amazing camp.
Yeah. You can have up to 176 kids at camp. It's a huge camp. And so every year we have scholarshiped, I would say probably 2/3 of the kids, just through donations that people want to help. I think it was last year, can't even remember, I've slept since then, but we did the camp stock program, and people sponsored the kids, which was great. And then I had a stockholders dinner for them, and did a slideshow and had some testimonials. And it was just a really cool thing that so many people in the community want to help support this camp, because it really does. It reaches, we have a handful of kids from our church that come, but the majority of the kids come from the community. Right. And we take scholarships into each of the public schools, talk to the counselors, talk to the principals, try to find kids that, the kids that need the scholarships, and the kids that, need Jesus. And we try to find those kids and really help them out. Because it's worth it. If I could bring every kid in town to the camp, I would. I think it's the best kept secret in Victoria. Even though it's been here for 8 years, I still talk to people that don't know it exists, and I just don't know how. I don't know how.
Well, I'm excited about next year, and I know that even it was such a struggle this summer, trying to going back and forth. Were they going to be able to do it? Were they not going to be able to it? Were we going to have enough time to pull host homes together and all of that before finally the plug was pulled on it? But gives us that much more time to look forward to next year and find the host home. So there might be somebody watching this right now going, I'm going to be a host home. Well, you've been a host home.
Yeah.
What are those? I mean, because that's got to be a nice experience too, to have these
They
kids.
flush the toilets. They put their dishes in the dishwasher. They make their beds. I find myself, I put little laundry baskets in their rooms so that they can, they're not home. They don't have time to do it. So I would wash their clothes during the day or whatever and fold them. And I would find myself kind of singing and happily folding because they appreciated it. They're grateful for everything you do. They don't have time to eat breakfast in the morning. So I threw out some granola bars and some yogurt, and, they drank gallons and gallons of milk, which, it's funny. But whatever you have, they're grateful for. They're just those kind of kids.
And I know you've developed relationships with
Absolutely.
folks over the years.
Absolutely. I get attached, which, it is what it is. But, we've been to weddings for some of our Pine Cove staff. I had one call me yesterday just to kind of check in and see how we were. I've got one coming here 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks in 2 weeks, to watch a Baylor football game with me. We're playing his school. So, it's just fun that we have been able to stay in contact with everybody for so long. It's amazing. They're amazing. I've never seen so many people with so much energy in my entire life. And
So
it's sad when they leave because everything is so quiet. Like unbelievably quiet.
People that want to get involved with children's ministry here at First United Methodist Church, whether it's being a host family for Pine Cove or volunteering to be volunteer staff at basic training camp, or I know you're going to be needing a core group of people to do Sunday school, and we get back to doing that, or whatever new incarnation of Sunday school you may be coming up with. I know you need volunteers, because again, like I was saying, children's ministry is so important to the overall health of the church. But Brooke Mercer can't do it all. Yes, you've got the help of Mike Mercer, which will do a whole lot.
He's voluntold a lot of times.
But yeah, it's important for the entire health of the church, and dealing with these children and nurturing them. That's part of our vows as United Methodists when we join the church, to nurture these children. And so I guess if there's folks that want to be a part of children's ministry in some form or even if they don't know exactly how they could, sometimes people are a little scared of children.
That's what I was going to say. Don't be scared. I think a lot of people are scared of kids, but they're amazing. They teach me things every day, and it's hugs and it's smiles, and it doesn't have to be scary, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be a little, whatever. I'll take whatever you have to give, whether it be an hour or, once a week or once a month or whatever it is. If you just want to help organize things or help plan things, or, I'll take volunteers in whatever capacity you're able to give.
So yeah, if they're ready and interested in helping out with children's ministry, get a hold of you. We'll help them through all of the safe gathering stuff and all those kinds of things that we have to do and want to do in order to ensure the safety of our kids. We'll get that done.
We'll get it done. Piece of cake.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to shut up now, and because I know you've got a lot of things to do. You've got school work for Scarlett and all kinds of things, and I probably ought to hit a lick today too. So.
All right. Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.